Welcome to today's video with my co-host. I realized that I never ask anybody to subscribe to my channel. I mean, I know that most YouTubers say click here, but I was just go straight into the message. But I will say, if you are enjoying the videos I have on the channel, the shorts, TikTok, wherever you found me, make sure that you subscribe here to this channel. Let me know more things you'd like to hear about. Here I talk about spirituality that I see in shows. I talk about sacred medicine. There's so many other topics. I don't have anything rehearsed just yet that I'm going to do all the time, but this is a space that is always here for open discussion to help people with self-development, open them up to their own awareness and spirituality, and help them on their journeys. So today's not going to be a super long video, but I really enjoyed that video that I did on the OA, the show on Netflix, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Jumping into the idea of other realities is really exciting because it allows you to step outside the world of your own, outside your own world. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this episode of a show I saw called Black Mirror. And if you've seen it, you know it's very post-dystopian, only we're actually living in the current reality. Everything from killer robot dogs to Neuralink technology, it's getting pretty scary. I think that's why they didn't do another season, because we're living in it right now. But there was this episode that stood out to me. I know in spirituality we talk a lot about karmic soulmates, twin flames, and I was thinking about this episode called Hang the DJ. So in Hang the DJ, it tells a story about a dating pool in the future where you're given this little time clock and you go on dates with different people. And based on who you're with, it gives you a certain amount of time that you get with them. Now, you can do anything during this time. You can hook up with them. You can have conversation. It really is up to you on how you spend your time. So we have the two protagonists of the story at the very beginning, and they really like each other. I think they weren't really expecting it at the beginning. And they go to this house. They send you to a house where you spend time together and do whatever you want. And they get to this house, and they don't jump straight into just having sex. They actually end up connecting with each other. So when the time is over, and I won't give the whole episode away, but after it's over, it seems like they're sad to leave each other. And so they go on to have many relationships, with whether they be short flings or long relationships, and they end up seeing each other. It seems like they live in some sort of weird community where everybody's doing the same thing. It's very matrixy. And they see each other again. So both of them end up in long-term relationships where the relationships will last 5 years, sometimes 3 years, or maybe it was several months. I don't know. It was a much longer relationship than, what they got, which I believe was just 17 hours or something. I don't remember the specifics. So they still feel a connection with each other no matter who they're with, and they see each other out at a different event and, still feel that connection pull to each other. So that automatically made me think about different relationships that I've had in the past. And when you feel a true connection to someone, and when you feel like someone's just a passerby in your life and you just kind of know, and you're not really tracking the time of how long these things last, but it's it's an intentional soul feeling. So they actually end up seeing each other again. They get linked up or matched up again. And I think it's really interesting and creative. Bless you. It's really interesting and creative the way that the writers made this parallel to dating apps and the way people scroll through them. I personally tried to use a dating app years ago, and it just was not my thing. I prefer in-person interactions, but I could relate because I had experienced it before, what it's like in the unknown when you meet someone, and how much time you invest in them kind of helps the quality of the relationship and also the connection. So when they do see each other again, it skips forward to, they start saying, we're just going to eliminate time. We're not going to pay attention to it, and let's just enjoy the time we have together. They don't look at their clocks. They make an agreement. We're not going to look at these clocks and see how much time we have left together. Also, I'd like to add they had a lot of careless flings in between too, where he was in a more serious relationship and then hers was only about the sex. And I think that we have all been in those kinds of relationships. Not all, but a lot of people have. It's pretty normal to have relationships that are based in like comfort and getting along and common connection. And then some are just purely physical. So when they do see each other again and they don't look at the time, they really enjoy getting to know each other and just being with each other. So he gets impatient because he's enjoying his time with her so much. He wants to know like, okay, how much time do we have together? And that was the whole thing of their pact. She didn't want him to break that. So I think about, when we're with someone and we're wondering like when the ball is going to drop, when is enough going to be enough? And, subconsciously we like start arguments or, I know people cheat sometimes. It's like you have this alarm in your head that you think that the time clock is going to go off and that you won't have time with this person anymore. So you self-sabotage the relationship. And when he looked at that clock, that is exactly what he did. So it told him they only had like, I don't know, a certain amount of hours left together when he finally did look at it, but the time kept changing. It went from like they have so many hours to years together to months to days, and then it just kept changing. So he told her, and naturally she was upset. Why would you look at the clock? Why couldn't you just focus on being with me? So their time ends, and then once again they end up in separate relationships again, missing each other, missing that connection. And afterwards, they get to this point where they get to see one more person before they're finally matched up with their like forever person. And this was like the part of the story where I was like, okay, it's getting interesting now. They see each other, and they don't know. That's the whole thing I left out too. You never know who you're going to meet. So when they see each other again, it's simply by chance. But I'm sure in this reality, we call it like divine connection. It was not a coincidence that they ended up together again. So they meet back at the original restaurant that they went to, and all these eyes seem to be watching them. And it's kind of like weird. It's like, okay, I thought everybody was on their own date. Why are they watching us? And it got to a point where they were like, okay, screw the time. We just want to be together. Nobody's going to tell us how much time we have left, and we're not going to pay attention to it anymore. So as they get up, it kind of starts to get dramatic because these people literally try to stand in their way. Like you have guards, and I guess these are like the guards of the Matrix, and they get up as if they're going to stop them. And they realize once they ignore all these things that are in their way, like nobody really does anything. And I thought that was so interesting because, we have all these irrational fears in life that things are going to stop us, and we silence the noise when we ignore the things that are our fears, someone keeping us from breaking out of these mental prisons we keep ourselves in. You see that anything is possible. So hand in hand, as each person or each block tries to come in front of them, they just go around it. And this is something I see in a lot of like these, not just post-dystopian, but supernatural or spiritual movies. There's this wall, the wall that keeps you separate from the outside world, from everything that is keeping you thinking that you're trapped in, this way of living, these thought patterns, this life. And together they climb over this wall. And when they climb over, they see, I think it's like 997 versions of times that they have been together. And it'll show like them in different outfits, different ways, but they're always the same two people. And for me personally, I will say like in my relationship, my current one with my husband, I've seen him many times before. And I used to like chalk it up to, oh, he's just like, it's just a common coincidence. He looks like these other people, or he has similar qualities or similar, attributes. But there was always something there, like where I had literally dreamed of him before. And I think that theory is really interesting and fun to play with because some people do feel like they have like true soulmates, people that they've known in lifetimes before this, if you believe in alternate realities and parallel realities and the multiverse. So you see them looking at all these different versions of themselves. And when it closes out, it shows them in a bar in yet another reality where they're on two opposite sides of the bar looking at their phones, and they get new matches for their dating profiles. And it says the simulation, or not the simulation, but they have a 99.97% chance of matching. So in that, what I can say is that when you have a person in your life, or, a specific kind of person that keeps showing up, I think it's there for a reason. So that show taught me a lot about not letting anything else define what you believe love is, not self-sabotaging things that are here to teach you and to help you grow. Because when we help each other grow, especially in relationships, it's almost like we're amplifying each other to the next level and helping each other see beyond the things that may have held us back in past relationships. So I'm gonna let you guys go watch that episode. I really don't watch Black Mirror like that anymore. I think the world is real enough right now as it is. But think about that, in karmic relationships and twin relationships. And if you have any experiences like this in your own life, please tell me in the comments. I would love to hear more stories about divine connection and, letting the society that we think we're supposed to live in fade away so that we can live in this wonderful, open, expanded universe in which we've lived multiple realities multiple times. And, there's a reason it feels familiar. So I hope you all have a great day. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and I look forward to talking again soon.